So guys, now we're gonna talk a little bit about 5 things with a bonus one at the end of the video that you probably missed while checking it out the dev server or the dev stream or whatever, right? So we're gonna check it out some of the stuff over here. The first one is mainly for maps in a general sense that are for a 10.7 BR or above. They actually changed the AA systems. Yes, they changed the AA systems for the airfield, guys. So as you see over here, we are in normal. This is air realistic, a normal like matchmaking. And what do you have here? A Strela system. We will have Shilkas and Strelas around here for to defend basically the airfields, which is pretty interesting. Not only that, they improved the respawn on these maps as well. When you air spawn, cannot find any other ones. So where are they? There you go, a Shilka over here. So very cool. And you will find in these maps when you air spawn, you're gonna be a little bit more spread out in like 30 kilometers. So yeah, the way that you spawn in, the defenses of the maps, and even apparently there were some maps that got like raiders or something, you know, on the airfields. I couldn't find it. I gotta be honest, I tried to look, but I couldn't really find it. I just know that the air defenses are here, and it's much better than what it was. So I wonder what they can do to you. We might test that out when the game actually releases and stuff. But it's very cool, right? This is the first one. And for a multitude of vehicles, we have a little bit more of inner realism over like inside the tank. So inside the vehicle. So the T series of tanks, the Su-25, A-10, some Chinese tanks and some others are receiving some stuff. For example, the tanks over here, it's not really fully ready yet, but they are receiving better models for example, the fire control system, as you see over here, for the horizontal and vertical drive of the turret, the autoloader itself, for example, or in the T-72, you know, all of these systems, they are basically being reworked. You can check it out in other tanks, like a T-80 over here. You will see that it's different, but yeah, the FCS is there, the horizontal, vertical, the autoloader is a little bit different. So all these tanks, they are refining the inner bits of the tanks. And not only tanks, like I said, some aircraft as well. For example, they are starting finally with fixed-wing aircraft, just like they did with helicopters. I kind of mentioned that a little bit in other videos, but look at this crazy thing, man. For example, here on the A-10, look at the inner bits. This means, guys, that, for example, maybe your wings got ripped off. Maybe, I don't know, something crazy happened, but you got hit in the avionics block. You're gonna lose the MFDs and the HUD, the NVD, sorry. You're gonna lose the avionics, like the guidance control, weapons control. If this gets damaged, you cannot fire your missiles. So if the aircraft is just failing around, but this part is hit, it's not gonna fire missiles anymore. You have the APU in the middle of the aircraft. I mean, this is kind of funny because, I mean, if you destroy the APU of the A-10, what will happen is that probably you couldn't start up again. If you are already flying, it probably will not change too much. But still, it is funny to have this. You have the actual like inner bits of the engines. Look at this, man. It's so cool. You have the cooling system, which is not fully ready yet. But yeah, look at this General Electric engine. Very cool. The gun itself, look at this. The inner bits of it, the flight control system, everything, guys. It's a lot more precise and well made. With the Su-25, we have this as well. So, for example, yeah, look how many things on the Su-25. I mean, the IRCM, if it gets hit, the IRCM will stop working. If this gets hit, the RWR will stop working. Look at the amount of detail on the engine. Look at the amount of detail here, right? The avionic blocks over here, the MFD, HUD, weapon controls, guidance systems, electrical optical systems. If this gets hit and nothing else, the laser designator, the targeting optics will stop working. The NVD, the sensors, the flight control systems. Look at this, guys. So this is very well made. Each of these vehicles will have this. Hopefully they add for literally every single vehicle in the game. Hopefully, seriously, like please, Gaijin, if you're listening to this, add for literally everything. I know it's a lot of work, but look at this. I mean, look at the oil cooling system down there. It's so cool, right? So very, very interesting that these are being added, and it will make it so that the damage for these vehicles are a lot more precise. It's a lot more realistic, a lot better. Very cool. Another thing, guys, is that they added for multiple aircraft. Now for like literally all aircraft that could have it. Look at the amount of fuel that it has. But basically, the fuel dumping. So, for example, the Su-24 has that in now. An interesting thing, I don't know if it... Let me see. If you turn it on, the afterburner, you just turn it off. And it will depend, the size of the, like, the plume of fuel there will be basically like too high. Yeah, it makes sense. But it depends on various amounts of things, like for example the size of the nozzle and everything. So it is pretty interesting, guys. I'm gonna show you guys some examples, but the list is pretty huge. Some of them might not be working very well, I think. Some of them are very interesting, like the Eurofighter one that comes out of the the empennage there. So that is very, very weird. But yeah. Or like the F9, for example, that comes out from the wingtip tanks. So very, very cool. Look at this. Even an F-14, as you see on the back there. So very, very cool, right? So the list goes on. I mean, Su-24, Su-34, Su-27s, 30, 33, the J-11s, the F-4s, the F-14s, F-15s, F-18s, the Eurofighters, the F-3H, the A6E tram, the F-11, the Jaguars, depending on the variant. Of course, there are some other variants over here. I mean, for example, the A4s, but not the B model. The Tu-14, the Gripen, the Rafale, the AV-8s, the Mirages, the Harriers, the Sea Harriers, the FJ-4Bs, the F-8U, the normal F-8s, the Buccaneer, and yeah, that's kind of it, right? So, and of course some of them you can do the flame, right? Which is pretty cool as well, right? So yeah, most of these vehicles, of course, receiving these things that are usable in real life, and of course here in the game as well. So very, very cool to have this. It's a small thing, doesn't change much, but it is very cool. Another change that appeared on the dev stream is the trees, right? So the trees are being basically they're being destroyed in a different manner. Okay, so if you explode them in some areas, for example here, they will separate in a more realistic way, pretty much, right? So you can see that I'm breaking the tree in the place that I'm actually, you know, shooting. Let me see if I shoot right here. So you can see that it is, like, for example, it doesn't matter where you shoot, you will actually have an animation exactly where you shoot, which is pretty insane, actually. I don't know why Gaijin didn't add this before. Maybe it was difficult to program, I don't know. But it's such a small but cool feature that, I mean, it's just incredible. Look at this. It's just incredible, man. It really is. I love this thing. Like, seriously, like, this is one of the coolest features that they ever did. Of course, if it's a small caliber, for example, here, it will not do it, right? So it needs to be kind of bigger. But then it explodes exactly where I shoot, which is, I don't know, man. You do you, but... Oh, I completely missed. You do you, but I think this is insanely amazing. It's just... I mean, look at this. This is just so cool, man. It really is a little bit more realistic, a little bit more fun. Let's see, like, high up there. Yeah, see? I mean, it's just very, very cool. By the way, say hello to the plot. And then we have some other things, like, for example, the last one that I'm gonna talk about. Of course, there are many others, and I will leave you a bonus one at the end of the video, like I said. It is a weapon selector kind of help. So what I mean about that is that, of course, we do have our normal selector over here that you can just use it. It will change it up. It will tell you everything, right? What is the weapon that you are choosing? And for example, here, now it will show to you guys which of the ones that you are selecting will be fired first. So for example, here in the A10, I'm gonna drop the paveway, right? And it will drop this one first. So it's a good way for you to actually, basically know which of these will be fired first. For example, here in the rockets as well, and in missiles and everything will be like that, right? Another thing is up here. It will tell you what is the version that will be fired, or the version of the position where it is. So for example here, I have an aim 9, but it's only on the right side over here, so it will be fired the right one. But for example here, I have in the left and in the right. In the bomb as well, I have in the left and in the right, and it's telling me that the first one that will be dropped, it will be dropped in the wing on the left. Okay, so it is telling with these L's and R's over here, which of the same payloads that you chose is gonna be dropped or fired first, which is pretty interesting, especially when you need to know, for example, for a bomb or something like that. So obviously for missiles, it doesn't change much. It does a little bit, but it doesn't change much. It's more for air to ground, but still it is pretty interesting, especially for an unguided. But it is pretty interesting to have something like this to help you out, to know where and, what is actually going to be dropped, okay? Which is pretty interesting. Another thing is, for example, here, they added a button for you to actually click here and have the periodic countermeasure release on, which is pretty good on the selector right here. So small little things like this, but it makes a lot of difference. And the last one, guys, one that I think it's very interesting, and I don't know if a lot of people noticed, but we have a new flag on the game over here. Can you find it? Well, it is right here, guys. So the Japanese in the tech tree thing over here, this is the bonus one, of course, now received the modern Japanese flag and not the rising sun flag, right? So very cool. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's complicated. These flags are complicated. For example, Germany could be using 3 flags if they wanted to. There's the East, West, and World War II Germany, and even before actually, like 4 flags. The Russians, I mean, you can have Soviet or the Russian flag, or so it's complicated. So I don't know why they chose to change the flag of Japan. I prefer this one than the older one. I think it's just more clear that it is Japan. I wish Germany would just have the normal flag for today, and maybe the USSR can maintain it because it is named USSR, but and it's not only Russian vehicles that are there, but still. But yeah, the Japanese flag is a modernized one. So interesting, right? Very cool. So I see you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, leave a like, leave a comment. And these were technically 6 things that you might have missed on the updates dev. See you guys. Bye.